So today it is the wrap-up video and ranking for 15 days of foundation. I missed you guys. I feel like this is the longest I just ate Chipotle, now I'm in food coma and my brain is not working. I feel like this is the longest I've gone without uploading in a long time, like years. But I have been, I don't think busy is the right word. I've been a walking zombie trying to get videos ready to go for while I'm gone the entire month of May. If you're just stumbling across this video, I do a series called 15 Days of Foundation on my channel where I test out a new foundation every single day for 15 days. This past series was April 5th to the 19th, and then I usually wait about a week and do a video talking about all of them, where they stand, how they compare, which ones are my favorites, which ones are my not so favorites. This series actually takes me over a month to film. I start working on videos a few weeks before the actual start date. So I have more than a week to test out these products between the last day that you guys are seeing and now. The foundation's closer to the beginning. I've been testing for a couple weeks now. Obviously the ones at the end I've had less time to test. We have t-shirts and there was an eBay sale to raise money for Project Beauty Share, which is a nonprofit. You can donate any of your used makeup and they distribute it to women's shelters. I'm gonna leave the announcement video for the series down below because I go in depth about all of this. I just have to give some background here for the new folks. So if you're just here for the foundation, I feel ya, life's busy. I'm gonna put a timestamp right here so you can fast forward to this part when I start talking about foundation. But I have a couple things I need to share with you guys, and the first is very exciting. It's how much we raised for Project Beauty Share. First of all, I wanna say a huge thank you to the brands who donated for the eBay sale. I mentioned all of them in the announcement video, but we couldn't have raised this much money without you guys, so thank you. But from the I was literally just about to say burrito sale. We should do that. From the eBay sale, we raised $5,421.23. From the t-shirts and hoodies, which are still going to be available until this Sunday morning, international shipping is available and all the designs are limited edition for these series, so this is the only time that you're going to be able to purchase this design. From the t-shirts, so far when I'm filming this right now, it's Wednesday by the way, so we might have raised a little bit more. From the t-shirts and hoodies, you guys have raised $7,044, which brings our total to $12,465.23 for Project Beauty Share. Our goal was $10,000. So you guys went above and beyond. I just think that's amazing. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. I know Project Beauty Share is very excited, and it's just a really great reminder that we can do something and make some kind of impact, even if it's small, if we all come together. So a couple other quick announcements for those of you guys who are still watching this right now and you haven't fast forwarded. You're the real Bayritos. Comment the word corn on the cob down below if you're watching this right now and you haven't fast forwarded. Other announcements. So again, I'm going to be in China May 1st to the 15th. I talk more about it in a Shadow and Schmooze video that's going up on Monday. I'm actually going to be in China when the video goes up. I'm going to have super limited access to social media, aka I'm pretty much not going to be on social media when I'm in China. But I have 3 videos a week ready to go. They're going to be scheduled before I leave. So there will still be videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Foundation Friday isn't going to resume until, let me see the exact date. Resuming on Friday, May 19th. Like I said, there's still going to be videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday. They're just not going to be Foundation Friday videos. I really needed a foundation break, but I'm excited to jump back into it once I get back. And the last thing, I wanted to give you a little update on the white mixer foundation mixers, which you guys have been asking about for about a year since I first mentioned it. That video is on the calendar. It's coming the end of May. I'm bringing about 10 white foundation mixers to China with me to test them out. I think that's all the updates I had for you guys. I'm going to be vlogging China. I'm also going to be in Taiwan for a few days, so I'll be able to use social media in Taiwan. So I'm going to put my handles right here. If you're not following, you can go do that. I'm very active on Snapchat. Snapchat. My whole life is on there pretty much. All right. Let's do this. So this was a weird series. I usually have a couple really standout products. I do have a couple of those products. It just wasn't instant love. It was like the love that grows over time. There's a couple that I would call bad, and then the vast majority of them I would say are just mediocre. So what I do when I test out these products again is try it with a different primer, powder, I mix them, I write it down so I have notes and I remember, and then I share it with you guys. I'm gonna go best to worst, so I'm gonna start with my top foundation. By the way, all of the foundations I'm talking about along with their review videos will be linked down below in the description box. All right, so my number one foundation from this series, which I feel like might surprise some of you guys because I wasn't super in love with it when I first tried it. This one has definitely grown on me. This was one that I reached for the most. I tried out the most because it was day 2. Whoa, hair. This is the Laura Geller Cover Lock Foundation. Wasn't super wowed by this when I first tried it. I liked it, I just didn't think it was amazing. This was one of the foundations that I was trying out in San Diego again, and the more I wore it, the more I liked it. So this is the only foundation that I'm talking about that I can actually wear alone. This is the best match for me out of all the foundations. I don't need to mix this in to adjust the shade at all. I love the finish of this. The thing I love the most about this is that it's full coverage, it looks like skin, and the shade is right. I'm wearing it right now, but I actually mixed in a tiny bit of the CoverGirl Clean Matte BB Cream in 510. This is way too dark, but it's one of my favorite products to mix in to make them a little bit longer lasting. My one downside to this is that if you have oily skin, I have combo oily skin, I don't think this one is super long lasting. I get a little bit of breakdown throughout the day, so I'm still trying to figure out my favorite way to wear this. I've tried it with powders and I actually like it better without a powder. So far, I feel like it wears best with the Hymalide Matte 12 Primer. I just put a little bit of this on my T-zone and it wears pretty well. Still not amazing lasting power, but I'm willing to work with it because I love the way that it looks on my skin. I love the shade. Everything else about it is perfect besides the lasting power on my skin. It is pretty moisturizing and it has more of a satin dewy finish, so if you have dry skin, this one might work for you. If you have oily skin, you'll just need to figure out the best way to wear it. And I posted the picture on Instagram with like the hoop earrings. That day on Snapchat, a bunch of you guys asked what foundation I was wearing, and it was this bad boy. I didn't set it with a powder, I just had on this foundation. This one is a close second. I think if the shade was right on this, it might have pulled ahead Laura because the lasting power for me on this one is there. Definitely one of the most skin-like finishes I've ever seen in a foundation. This is the Dermablend Smooth Liquid Camo. Now, I did find out that cream is not the lightest shade. Linen is apparently lighter with cool undertones. I'm definitely gonna be ordering that because this shade is just way too dark for me, way too yellow. It's actually really hard to mix this in with other products because it has such a yellow orangey kind of base to it. Anytime I tested out this product mixing it in, my shade was just totally off. You can build this up to get really great coverage, but it literally looks like skin. It looks so beautiful throughout the day. I really can't think of a foundation that this looks like. I feel like this is a pretty unique product. So as soon as I'm done filming this, I'm going to be ordering the lightest shade Linen because I definitely want to try that out. So number 3, I feel like you guys probably saw this one come in, is the Max Factor Pan Stick Foundation. So I have 2 here now because after filming that video, I ordered the lighter shade, which is 25 Fair. The shade that I reviewed was 12 True Beige. I actually think this one's easier to work with for me because the undertone of this is a lot closer to me. I'll swatch them again for you guys. I swatched it in a different video, but this 25 Fair shade almost looks like a salmon corrector to me. It is that kind of pink orange colored. So here's 25 Fair and here's 12 True Beige. 12 True Beige is way too dark, but it was easier for me to work with because the undertone is right. This is full coverage, beautiful finish. Again, on my skin, it's not super long lasting. I do get pretty oily. I tried mixing it in with the Makeup Forever stick foundation, which also isn't super long lasting on me. I just couldn't find a good way to mix this in. I tried mixing in with the white stick foundation, the Maron one, which I do not like. That did not go well. So then I mixed it in with the Makeup Forever stick foundation, and I set it with my Laura Geller powder. In my notes, I said it looked okay but heavy, lasted better but still oily. So I think this is another one that I have to play around and try and figure out how I can wear this. It looks pretty similar to the Jolie stick foundation, so if you liked that, you might like this one. I actually thought number 4 was going to be a little bit higher once I played around with it, but I can't get this to quite work for me. This is the Flower Beauty BB Cream. So the shade of this is very, very, very yellow. It's almost like the Dermablend where it's really hard to work with even mixed in with the product. I literally can only use like a dab of this if I mix it in with something. This one has really good coverage. It's full coverage, which is awesome for a BB cream. It just doesn't wear quite as well as I'd like it to. I get a little bit heavy and creasy throughout the day. I tried to mix this in with a few different products, but I felt like because I needed something super pink toned, kind of a thinner consistency, but that wasn't going to take away a lot of the coverage, I just couldn't find the right thing to mix in with this. It can look a tiny bit heavy, but I think mixed in with the right thing, this could be really nice. Comparing it to the CoverGirl Clean Matte BB Cream, this one looks 10 times more smooth on the skin. This controls my oil amazing, this one not so much, but the Flower definitely has way better coverage than the CoverGirl. So I like this one. I'm not totally in love, but I think it's a good product. If you like full coverage, matte, and you have more yellow undertones, you might really like this shade. I would say if you have dry skin, probably not the product for you. All right, so number 5 is the 16 Brand 16 Garoom Cream. This is the full coverage cream foundation. Comes in a little jar. Very exciting. very beautiful. While I was mixing foundations, I kind of rediscovered the Urban Decay All Nighter foundation. I have a whole review on this. I don't like it by itself. It looks pretty heavy and cakey on me by itself, but I actually really like mixing this in with products. I mixed these two together, and when I wore this on Snapchat that day, I got a bunch of questions about what I was wearing. I always know it's a good combo when I get a lot of snaps from you guys about it. So this is what I mixed. This helped to lighten it and made it a little bit more pink tone, but I got full coverage with this combination. The only thing is that it felt a little bit heavy to me. Both of these are very thick, but I like this. I almost feel like the L'Oreal True Match foundation could be good mixed in with this because that has more of a thin consistency. That one breaks me out massively, so I can't usually use it. I actually really liked the lime Tone It Up color. I think I'm going to continue to use this underneath foundations. This really helped to tone down the redness in my face. Is my mic on? Yesterday I filmed a haul video and the entire first half of the video my mic was off, so now I'm paranoid checking the mic every 2 seconds. So there's always kind of this cutoff where it's like, these are the products that I recommend, and anything below this line is where it gets not so great. This is the last product above the line. This is the Maybelline Dream Matte Mousse Foundation. This is such an old product. It was one of those that I just wanted to test out that I haven't used in years. And I really like this. I think if I didn't have acne and if the shade was a little bit closer to me, I would really love this because it lasts amazing on my skin. I would say it's up there with like the CoverGirl Clean Matte as far as the lasting power on me. This one kept me super matte. It looks nice and smooth. It can look a little bit dry. If you have dry skin, stay away from this. I actually used my Hard Candy Hydrating Mist over the top of it, and it kind of brought life back to my skin. Shade on this is a little off. I don't think this is full coverage. If you have a lot to cover up, you probably wouldn't like this, but if you just like a medium coverage, super lightweight mattifying foundation and one of the shades actually matches you, you might really like this. So number 7 for me is where we go below that line. Oh, I want to like this one so bad. I really do. Estee Lauder Double Wear. Can't make it work for the life of me. It just looks so foundation-y on my skin. I'll see it on other people and it looks amazing. I did a Seattle meetup this past weekend and one of you guys was actually wearing the Estee Lauder Double Wear and it looked amazing on your skin. It looks nothing like that on my skin. It does control my oil well, I'll give it that. It just looks very heavy. I think this is one that if I really found that perfect foundation to mix this with, I could like it because it does give really good coverage and it controls my oil. It just doesn't have the best kind of finish on my skin. Just my 2 cents. Some people love this, some people hate it, like any product. So number 8 is another one that a lot of people love. I don't think this is a bad product. Like I mentioned in the video, I really like mixing this in with other foundations. So this is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. This one for me just looks super chalky. It's the most bizarre thing. I really don't get good coverage with this at all, like barely medium coverage. Just get this weird texture on my face with it. In that video I mentioned that my old favorite foundation combo was the e.l.f. Acne Fighting Foundation mixed with the 101 shade. I didn't get a chance to try that out again, but I might do that in a Shadow and Schmooze or something, just so you guys can see. It just doesn't wow me on its own. Speaking of ones that I'm not super wowed by, the Kojendo Aqua Foundation. The reason why I ranked this lower than the Estee Lauder and L'Oreal, for the price of this, I just think there are so much better foundations that give you a similar kind of effect if you're looking for lighter coverage with like a glowy skin-like look. There are other foundations that are not $62. I love the shade of this one, but I do get the pilling. I actually tried mixing it in with the Estee Lauder 1C, what was this one? 1C1 Cool Bone. I tried mixing those two together because I figured this one could give it more of like a skin-like look and help lighten it. And oddly enough, I still got the little white dots pilling. And for the price tag for me, it just doesn't bring enough to the table. So number 10 is the Elizabeth Arden Flawless Finish Mousse Makeup. I think this is one that's gonna work for a very specific skin type and just look that you're going for. It's very natural looking. I actually really like the finish of this. It's just a little average. There are other more natural skin-like foundations that I just think I like a little bit better. The packaging of this and just like the whole vibe, get like 80s hairspray vibes from this packaging. I don't know. This one is just super blah to me. I don't know if it's just because of the whole thing, like the concealer, the shade, the oil, I don't know. I didn't hate this one in the video. I just think this does nothing that it actually says it does. It's definitely not mattifying. It is super dewy even when you first put it on, and it definitely doesn't cover a whole lot, the concealer or the actual foundation. If you want kind of a similar effect but with better coverage, I love the Garnier BB Cream, the oily version. I used to use that back in the day when I would self-tan. That shade is way too dark for me even to mix in with products, but that is beautiful, and it kind of reminds me of this just with better coverage. We're on to number 12. Number 12 is one that is just super mediocre to me. I don't even know what to say about this one because there's nothing that stands out. I feel like in most foundations, I can see something in them that someone might like, even if it's not necessarily myself. This is one that I just don't see that. I don't think the lasting power was good. The finish of this, I do not like. It looks foundation-y. Just all of it, I'm not that into, and I don't think this is worth your money. So as I said in this video, I did not try this one again because this was one of those products that I put it on and I instantly knew I did not like it. You know when you have those products that whatever it is, there's something about it that you're not feeling. For me, number 13 is the Cover FX Total Cover Cream Foundation. This one just looked and felt too heavy for me. If you have more dry skin, you might like this because it is very luminous. I can see how if you didn't have to put quite as much on to get coverage, it may wear better. This one was just a no for me. So 2 left. You guys probably know which ones are left. Number 14 kind of surprised me because I really liked it when I first put it on. Natasha Denona Foundation X. It had a really nice kind of soft focus, matte finish, good coverage. The shade was off, very yellow, but everything else about it I liked when I first put it on. This one just got significantly shitty as the day went on. Midpoint check-in, it just looked bad. It looked almost like how the Kat Von D Lock-It foundation looks on my skin. It looks really dry in certain areas. It got really cakey and heavy in certain areas. And at the end of the day, it almost got patchy. Could just be one of those things that it just wears bad on my skin. Like I always say, just because I don't like a product doesn't mean that you won't. Some products work amazing for some people that do not work at all for me, and vice versa. So this is just my opinion and my experience with these products. It doesn't mean that they're necessarily bad products. Besides this last one, number 15, which I would say is a bad product. Ooh, my heart rate goes up just thinking about this. So this was the $80 custom foundation. If you watched that video, you probably saw this come in, but pretty much every aspect of this product was kind of a fail. Not only does this one look bad on my skin, the shade is off. And that's kind of their whole thing with this is a custom foundation, your correct shade, your correct coverage, all of that. Pretty much everything about this product just missed the mark. The one thing I do like about this is that I thought it was a fun experience. Is it an $80 worth fun experience? Probably not. You could go to Disneyland or buy 80 burritos. This review video goes really in depth about why I don't like this, so I'm not going to go into it here, but number 15 for you. So those are all the foundations. If you guys have purchased any of these from the series already and you've been trying them out, let me know what you think of them down below. My top 2s to me are definitely standout products. It's actually kind of weird how my top 2s look really similar, I'm just realizing. What the heck? If you guys try these out, if they worked for you, if they didn't work for you, let me know down below. I'm always curious. I don't have dates or months or anything yet set for the next 15 days of foundation, but I always update you guys on social media. Just want to thank you guys for all of your support, not only for Project Beauty Share, but for my videos and my channel throughout this series. Probably the most fun part for me throughout this series is getting your feedback every single day on Snapchat and social media, and just seeing you guys really excited about it gets me really excited. And if you found my channel through this series this time around, let me know down below. Say hi to all the new Bayritos. So starting on Monday, you guys will have regular 3 videos a week again. If you enjoyed this video and this round of 15 days of foundation, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help me out in the YouTube algorithm. So if you want to show your support, thumbs it up. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.